If you ever end up in the back of an ambulance, you're in for a ride that could save your life. The patient bay has to function like a mini emergency room on wheels. This is why every material used to build it, from the inside to the out, is selected for patient comfort and care. Building the back bay of the ambulance where the patient rides starts with welding together hollow aluminium tubing to make a skeleton or framework for the bay. The aluminium tubing is made from the same structural aluminium used to make the bodies of aeroplanes. It's called structural aluminium because it's strengthened with other elements like magnesium, another lightweight metal that's also super strong, and silicon, which will help the aluminium hold its shape while it's being welded. Also, it's naturally lightweight, so it won't slow down the ambulance. Workers weld the tubing to form the frame for all four of the outer walls. Now it's time to add the outer shell. The pieces arrive at the factory already cut to size. They're made of strong, lightweight aluminium, just like the skeleton. But get this, the shell isn't riveted to the frame like you might expect. Instead, it's taped to the frame using an industrial-strength double-sided tape made especially for joining metal. To attach the shell, workers line the framework with one side of the tape. They then press the shell onto the framework with heavy rollers, so it sticks to the other side of the tape. The tape is better to use than rivets, as every centimetre is bonded together to create a watertight seal. Unlike when using rivets, where it's just held together at specific points. Once all the taping is finished, the walls of the ambulance bay are insulated with a layer of spray-on foam. The foam is made of polyurethane, a flexible kind of foam that expands as it's sprayed. This means it oozes into all the nooks and crannies between the frame and skin. It's important every seam is sealed with the foam. If the ambulance gets too hot or too cold inside, it could be life-threatening to the patient. The insulation also cuts down on loud noises outside, like the siren. This helps the paramedics, as they'll be able to talk and hear important instructions from doctors at the hospital. Once all four walls are insulated, they're welded together into the big box that forms the bay on the back of the ambulance. It's then time to finish the inside of the bay. It starts with putting up fiberglass panels to finish off the inside of the walls. Just like the outside panels, the fiberglass is attached to the frame using double-sided tape. This means there are no spaces in the seams where dirt can gather or germs can grow. While the fiberglass is going up, the floor of the ambulance bay is put together in another part of the factory. This is made from a sheet of vinyl glued on top of a hard aluminium and plastic backing. The backing gives the floor lightweight support, while the vinyl provides a durable, waterproof and seam-free surface. So just like the floor of a hospital, it's easy to mop up and keep clean. Once the floor is in place, workers furbish the bay for patient care. Lightweight aluminium cabinets are screwed to the walls. These will hold medical supplies and are within an arm's reach of the paramedics. LED lights are wired into place to make a bright work area for emergency crews. A chair is positioned near the front of the ambulance so a paramedic can sit at the head of a patient. It's bolted through the floor and into the base frame to make sure it stays put. Similar hardware is added to the floor so the stretcher for the patient can be locked into place too. Now all that's needed is a set of wheels to get this mini emergency room to the patient. It takes a crane to gently lower the 1,550 kilo patient bay onto a truck. When the bay is set just right, a mechanic bolts it to the frame. Then an electrician hooks up 22 flashing emergency lights. But before the ambulance hits the road, it has to look and sound like an ambulance. To get the look, the whole vehicle is sent for a paint job. In this case, it's an eye-catching red. Later still, the siren and horns go on to complete the ambulance. Once the siren is tested, the ambulance is ready to roll for the journey that could save your life.